When is a violin not called a violin? When you hear the call, swing your partners, and the music starts, you wouldn't think of calling the violin a violin. Then it becomes a fiddle. Playing the fiddle is different. The fiddler may use an inexpensive violin or even make his own. He may hold the instrument against his chest or even against his waist and move the bow in quick, short strokes. A fiddler may know 8 traditional tunings for the strings, but he rarely uses more than the first position on the fingerboard, and he must have nimble fingers to play the swift-moving tunes. Many tunes were brought to America by English colonists who settled in the mountains of Virginia and Kentucky. There, many musical tune names, Sweet William, Soldier's Joy, Blackberry Blossom, and Fisher's Hornpipe, still survive. Though the banjo's forefathers came from other countries, it developed into a distinctive part of American folk music. It was first used on southern plantations to provide a twangy background for singing and dancing. Every minstrel show of the 1800s had a banjo, and until the 1930s, it was used in the rhythm sections of jazz bands. Today, it is used by folk singing groups and in combos that play Dixieland style. The banjo's neck is of walnut or satin wood, the fingerboard of ebony or rosewood. The body is a drumhead covered with calfskin and fastened in a wood or metal rim. A round piece of wood behind the rim vibrates with the string. Many banjos have 5 steel strings that are strummed or plucked with the right hand. There is also a 4-string banjo played with a plectrum or pick. The 5-string banjo is tuned to the notes pictured here. Fingers of the left hand press the strings along the fingerboard to produce different pitches. Frets, raised pieces of metal, divide the strings into half tones.
On top of old Smoky, all covered with snow, I lost my true lover from a courting too slow.
The popular guitar provides accompaniment for folk singing and square dancing. A versatile instrument, it can produce harp tones, metallic tones, drum beats, tambourine effects, and bell sounds. The neck and fingerboard of the guitar are made of hardwoods, ebony, beech, or pear. The bridge is of ebony. Maple, ash, or cherry wood are used for the top, back, and sides. The guitar has 6 strings, which are tuned to the notes shown here. Music for the instrument is written in the treble clef, but it sounds 8 notes lower than written. A jazz guitar, heavier and broader than the classic guitar, has steel strings that are played with a pick. The Hawaiian steel guitar, held flat on the lap, is played with picks on the right hand's thumb and first 2 fingers. The ukulele, a small Portuguese guitar, was brought to Hawaii by missionaries in the late 1800s. Hawaiians gave it the name ukulele because of the way fingers jumped from chord to chord. There are frets on the fingerboard to help the player place his fingers. Each fret produces a note 1/2 step higher than the one before. The 4 strings are tuned to these notes. Sometimes strings are tuned to notes G, C, E, and A. By learning 3 chords, 1, 4, and 5, almost anyone can use the ukulele to accompany songs. This is a fingering chart for these chords in major keys: C, F, and G. The mandolin, smaller and often with a rounded back, is not as popular as the guitar. In spite of its thin nasal quality, the mandolin tone has something original and appealing about it. There are 4 double strings, 2 strings for each pitch, to strengthen the sound. The mandolin is tuned to the notes G, D, A, and E, like the violin. The zither has a shallow wooden sound box with 30 to 40 strings stretched over it. 4 or 5 melody strings, stretched over a fretted fingerboard, are plucked with a metal ring worn on the right thumb. Other strings are plucked with fingers of the left hand. There are other types of zithers. One has 4 strings, is played with a bow, and produces a harsh nasal tone. The second is the dulcimer, a simple zither with 3 strings tuned to these notes: C, F, C, or C, G, C. The highest string on the dulcimer has frets fingered with a quill in the left hand. A quill in the right hand sweeps across all strings, producing an accompaniment of 2 drones, tones sounding at the same pitch while the melody is played on another string. The Jew's harp, or Jaw's harp, was brought to Europe from Asia centuries ago. From Europe, it came to America. By whatever name it is called, the instrument appeals to people the world over. There are 2 parts for this instrument. Its horseshoe-shaped metal frame has 2 ends that extend to form arms. Between them, a metal tongue vibrates when set in motion. Pitches are produced by changing the mouth's shape and size. The bagpipe, Scotland's national instrument, was probably played in Ireland first. It was known in ancient Rome a century before Christ. Today, in Germany, it is the dudelsack. In France, the musette. This picture shows parts of a bagpipe. The bag, made of elk skin, is kept full of air by blowing into the blowpipe, which has a device at the end that keeps air from escaping. Air is forced through the chanter by pressing the bag with the elbow. The chanter's sound is produced by the vibrations of a double reed. Melodies can be played on the chanter by fingering 8 holes along its side. 3 pipes without sound holes, called drones, provide an accompaniment for the chanter. The long bass drone sounds the note A 10 tones below middle C. 2 short tenor drones sound A below middle C. The reeds for the bass and tenor drones look like those that you see. The mouth organ, often called the harmonica, is believed to have been invented by a German, Friedrich Buschmann, in 1821. Today, it is one of the most widely used instruments in the world. This instrument, a small flat box several inches long, has openings along one side, which lead to metal free reeds inside. A free reed fixed into a metal plate vibrates from one side to the other. By blowing air in or drawing air out, a harmonica player sounds notes. Blowing air into a hole sounds a single note. Drawing air through the same hole sounds the next note of the scale. The accordion may be found anywhere. At a Texas barbecue, on a cruise to Bermuda, in a California trailer camp, in Paris or New York. Today, it outsells all other instruments except the harmonica. Accordion sounds are produced by free reeds which are set in vibration by wind supplied from a bellows. One set of reeds is used when the bellows moves out or is open, a different set when it moves in or is closed. The right hand plays a melody on a keyboard that has its own reeds. The left hand works the bellows and plays an accompaniment on a button board. This is a picture of an accordion's button board. The first two rows of buttons nearest the bellows control 40 bass notes sounding in octaves. The other 4 rows play 80 different chords, one complete chord to a button. Instruments in square dance bands vary from place to place. Almost always included is the fiddle. Generally, it will be accompanied by guitar or banjo, and other instruments will be added if players can be found. The mouth organ, or juice harp, may play along with the fiddle, guitar, and banjo. Sometimes the piano is used as a chording instrument. The accordion and bass fiddle, and even the drums may be used too. Melody instruments, such as the fiddle and harmonica, play the tunes. Backgrounds of chords and a steady beat are added by accordion, guitar, and drums. The simple harmony is often made up of only 3 chords. All these simple, familiar instruments were made to bring great joy into people's lives. Now that you have learned about them, you may want to play some of them. There is no greater satisfaction than in making music.